Welcome back, friends, to another year of ACA University, brought to you by HST and AHCP. We are sister agencies, both of which are subsidiaries of Allstate Insurance. And a special good morning shout out to our West Coast agents. I know it's a tad early for you all, so we especially appreciate you roughing it with us this morning. I am Steve Tratner. I am excited for this year's OEP. Can you believe we are entering our 10th ACA open enrollment? Who'd have thought that the Affordable Care Act would still be in existence considering all the headwinds the program has faced over the years? Anyway, I, for one, am very optimistic for this year because we continue to witness more carriers entering the federal marketplace. We see the established ACA carriers expanding their presence and enhancing their plan designs to better serve our collective clients. And of course, glad to see that we have our ancillary insurance carriers remaining by our side to help us round out coverage and reduce our clients' out-of-pocket liabilities when they face those high deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance, etc. Anyway, I want to briefly outline how things are going to progress over these 3 very informative days. First off, this morning, Trainer Nick is going to give us a quick refresh on the fundamentals of selling ACA plans. Then we will hear from our esteemed ACA carrier partners directly, who will each present an overview of their plan changes for this year, any network updates, some key competitive positioning that'll help you be more prepared when you're speaking with your clients. As you can see on the screen, we are allowing 45 minutes for each carrier because last year we learned that 30 minutes wasn't nearly long enough. Following each presentation, we'll take a 15-minute break in case there's any extended Q&A that people want to stick around for, and also to give you a chance to stretch your legs, grab another cup of coffee, or take care of other personal needs. Up first today at 11 o'clock will be Ambetter, followed by United Healthcare, and closing out the day will be Molina. Tomorrow we'll kick things off with Anthem, followed by Bright, and then Oscar. And then on Friday, the lone closer is Cigna. We are recording these presentations and we plan to post them on the website, and we'll also email links out to all registrants, just in case you miss any portion and you want to refer to it later. Mr. Nick, Trainer Nick, how are you this morning?
Great, Steve. Thanks so much for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
I'm appreciating you being here because you've got the hard job ahead of us. So take it away. It's all yours.
Thanks so much, Steve. I really appreciate it. Good morning, guys. Excited to have everybody here. It's an exciting time, right? We got a couple weeks left, and we are about to dive into open enrollment here. So I'm pumped. I know a lot of you guys are kind of that nervous, anxious energy going on all over the place, tightening everything up. And so with that, guys, we're going to be kicking off ACA here, right? We have a really great list of ACA carriers that have decided to join us this year. So we're pumped. We had so much fun, so much success with this event last year with HST and AHCP. So we're bringing it right back to you guys. I'm so glad that you joined us for it. So big thing, if you guys are unaware, you haven't heard it yet, right? Open enrollment is running through January 15th of 2023 this year. That was already announced by the government, right? In some of those more liberal states, right? I'm in California. Some of our more liberal states, we can probably expect extensions a little bit past that. But just know for our main customer base, it's not that 45-day window we're used to, right? We have an extra month again this year. So most of you guys probably expected that, aware of that. Just be aware this year it's running till January 15th again as well, all right? So what do we need to cover with ACA, right, guys? This is just a quick overview on ACA. For some of you guys, this is gonna be old news. You don't really need to know about this or worry about this too much. For some of you guys, I'm going to be teaching you a few things here. So this is what we want to talk about or know about with ACA, right? What are the benefits to ACA? What are the good, the bad, the ugly, and in what situations are we going to use ACA, right, for our clients? And so, guys, the number one biggest thing with ACA is the guaranteed issue, right? Guys, there's a lot of Americans out there with stuff, that they're bringing onto their health insurance plans, right? And so when that happens, a lot of times we need to look for guaranteed issue options for them, and ACA obviously is an amazing option for that. In guaranteed issue, that means they have benefits for pre-existing condition with no lifetime limits, right? That top line there, guys, all three of those are massive, massive sale points there on why we would look major medical and why it just happens to be an amazing fit for some of our customers, right? As you know, we have 4 metallic level plans, although in a lot of states, you're not seeing that platinum level as much anymore, right? It's bronze, silver, gold. There are still platinum levels out there. They do still exist in a few states, just not something we're seeing a whole lot of anymore, right? Now here, guys, this is kind of some of the things we need to look out for our clients, right? As anticipated and as has been the trajectory since this thing started, the max out of pockets and the deductibles continue to rise, right? And so this year, it's going to be a $9,100 individual and then $18,200 for a family for a maximum out of pocket is the limit set by ACA this year. So that's what you're going to see on a lot of these bronze plans, even a chunk of the silver, okay? This is important to some of our clients, not as important to others, but it's rolled into every ACA plan out there, right? These are those essential health benefits, what every ACA plan needs to have coverage for, right? That 100% wellness, and that's huge in today's world that we live in. Maternity coverage can be a really big deal, right? But if you're 50 years old and working on becoming a grandparent, maybe maternity is not as big a deal, but it's rolled into the coverage, right? Mental health, prescriptions, adult and pediatric immunizations, and then dental for children. So whether you have kids, you're paying for that, right? So these are the essential health benefits rolled into the plans, right? Some really good ones in there, some that, you know, depending on your client, may or may not be an important need, okay? It's important for you guys to know about the 80% MLR, right? What is 80% MLR, the medical loss ratio? Guys, this is what insurance companies, carriers, this is what we have to operate on, right? This is saying that, hey, 80 cents of every dollar that we bring in from monthly premiums from our clients, we need to pay out in claims. That means 20 cents left over pays out all of your commissions as well as our operating costs, right? Paying the CEO, paying the electricity in the buildings, everybody's salaries, all that fun stuff, right? So that is the 80% MLR. Due to those limits, that's why you see stuff like your guys' commission being impacted. That's why we see the plans operating in certain ways, right? So know that that is rolled into ACA. That impacts cost. And then this is massive, guys, and we'll dive into this a little bit more on a few more slides, but it's the subsidies, right? Sometimes the subsidies just make sense for our client. If our client is eligible for subsidies, the cost of the plan, ACA is just going to make sense. And so now we need to look at how to better protect them with supplements and everything like that, right? But subsidies are massive, and so you always need to check, does your customer qualify for subsidies? And the salary amounts for them, guys, a lot of people qualify for these subsidies, and I'll go ahead and show you that chart in a little bit, okay? So kind of continuing on the things your clients should know about, right? So how is the plan going to work when they go to see a doctor? And how is the plan going to work if they have prescriptions that need to be filled, right? Those are the two main important things for us in our day-to-day lives, right? And so how is this going to work for our clients? They need to know, is there a copay if they go to see the doctor? For any of that normal stuff, what can they anticipate? And then prescriptions. If they take prescriptions, what can they expect? Is there a copay on that? How is that going to work for them, right? Guys, we need to paint the picture of how their plans are going to work, right? This is probably, to me, the most important thing on a health insurance plan is the network. And so we have to understand the network, and we need to make sure our clients understand the network, right? There's a lot of different network types out there. I have some personal feelings on some types, but I'm not going to dive into that and waste all your guys' time. You need to know the difference between HMOs, PPOs, these EPOs, right? Guys, you're going to notice on ACA plans, a lot of them have moved off of PPO and now they're on these EPO networks. So what is that? Exclusive provider. That sounds awesome. So guys, they're so exclusive. They're usually county or state specific networks, right? So it's formulated similar to a PPO where like if you're in a major market elsewhere, there's doctor's offices and help, but really it's going to be a strong network in your state or county specific. That's an EPO, and that's how they limit costs. So it's a lower level PPO, right? And then obviously your HMOs with your gatekeeper, everything like that. We need to be able to speak to the type of network we're signing our clients up for so that they know what to expect when they're using their plan, right? What kind of doctors and hospitals and facilities can they go to seek help, right? And then maybe we need to be talking about what facilities do they want to go to in their area. And that might help guide the plan and what we're choosing there, right? Remember, max out of pocket is going up as it's continued to go up, right? We need to let our customers know where their exposure lies. What are we protecting our clients from, right? And oftentimes on an ACA plan, these are rolled in there, so we can't protect them from it on the ACA plan. This is really where the supplements come in and they sing. This is how we protect our clients from the max out of pocket. What happens if you go out of network? Those amounts can double. They can, depending on the plans that you're on. So you guys need to make sure that your clients are aware of both the good and the bad in their plans, right? And then this one's massive, right? This one still can confuse some of us in the industry, right? What is paid for versus what is covered, right? That word covered is used all the time, right? It's covered, it's covered, it's covered. But that doesn't mean the insurance company's paying for that at 100%, right? And sometimes that gets misunderstood. And so it's very important that we educate our clients on, hey, just because that benefit is covered, it means that we'll protect you from catastrophic, but we can't, it doesn't mean that this is a free bill for you, right? And so explaining that stuff to our clients, very, very important, okay? 3 things to know about as far as qualifying for a subsidy, guys. 3 things to know about. Income, family size, and zip code is all that's needed to qualify for a subsidy. Oftentimes, age can be confused in this. And age is not a qualifier for a subsidy, guys. So let me kind of explain this to you. If me and Steve had the same income, had the same family size, and lived in the same zip code, the government might say, hey, Nick, Steve, you guys should just be paying $250 a month for health insurance based on your income, your family size, and your zip code, okay? We should only be paying $250 a month for health insurance. Steve, I'm gonna pick on you a bit here. Steve's a couple years older than me, okay? So Steve's health insurance plan is more expensive than my health insurance plan, right? Steve's health insurance plan might be $800 a month, whereas mine might only be $400 a month. So I'm only gonna get a $150 subsidy. Steve is gonna get a $550 subsidy, right? It's gonna look like he qualified for more, but that was just because based on our age, our health plans cost a different amount, right? But the age had nothing to do with us getting approved for that subsidy, right? So I always spend a little bit of time there just to make sure, because age, for whatever, it creeps in there, and it does have an impact, but it doesn't have anything to do with qualifying, okay? This is the updated federal poverty levels chart for this year. It updated in March of this year. So at the end of COVID, we had one chart for 2 years in COVID. During COVID, they actually went up to 600% on this chart. It's now back down to 400%, okay? And this is what the limits look like on our federal poverty. You don't need to know this, right? You don't need to have this thing memorized, but you can Google 2022-23 federal poverty level chart. This stuff is online, but really the big thing, when you put somebody's income into any of these systems, guys, it's going to estimate the subsidy out for you, all right? You don't need to memorize this chart. Just kind of understand where it cuts off, right? Understand the 400%, and then the other side. Understand the 100 and 138%, because that's where we got to start looking at Medicaid and anything like that, right? So you guys need to know about those kind of numbers. Everything in between, don't memorize the chart. Just understand when you put the numbers into the system, it'll work itself out, okay? So under 400%, you may qualify for a subsidy. And guys, you have to use that word may, because remember, age, right? I might be right at that 350, 400%, but because my age, my plan's too cheap, that it didn't trigger a subsidy, right? So understand that. Another thing to look out for, guys, is cost share reductions, right? A lot of you are probably already familiar with these, but cost share reductions, these are only on silver plans. This is where they're going to, instead of having a $9,000 deductible, right, a $9,000 max out of pocket, our customer's deductible might get turned into a $500 deductible or a $1,000 deductible, right? Their co-pays are going to get brought down, right? So that's what cost share is. This is something that your customer has to qualify for, right? They have to be in one of these federal poverty level banded in the chart here. But if they meet these qualifications, guys, it's our job to do our due diligence as agents. This silver plan might cost them $50 a month, and the bronze plan might be free. But guys, we need to educate them on what's going to happen if they go with the plan with the $9,100 deductible that's free each month versus the plan that's $50 a month, but you only have a $500 deductible, right? You might have no copay on it, things like that. So we really need to take the time. If this is a client that qualifies for a cost share reduction, guys, we need to make sure that we take the time to educate them. There is a real difference between the bronze and silver there, and it might behoove our customer to spend a couple bucks a month to get that silver plan and really get the protections in there, okay? Massive, massive stuff. This next slide's kind of fun, guys. So some of you have probably already noticed this, but we are Allstate Health Solutions now in our quoting portal, right? Very, very fun. We're Allstate Health Solutions all around. The plans are now Allstate Health Solutions in the system. Some of you guys are already aware of this and have already been playing with this over the last year. But Health on Exchange right here, that is ACA, Major Medicare, Major Medical. This is quoting and enrolling in major medical plans right in our quoting software in Coverage Builder, guys. You can quote and enroll in these plans side by side in the same shopping cart right here in the system. You won't even get kicked over to healthcare.gov because now we have an enhanced direct enrollment with Stride where everything is taken in this system. We're partnered with healthcare.gov in that. So guys, everything is done in this system, an ACA application and all of your supplements. And you may have noticed if you've been scrolling through this system, you may have noticed if you stopped on fixed indemnity plans, there's that save 20% next to all of these plans. Guys, if you click that, it lets you know if you do any sales in this system of an on exchange, so an ACA major medical plan, if you do a sale of a major medical plan with a fixed indemnity plan attached to it in the shopping cart, that's a 20% discount on the fixed indemnity plan. So guys, you can see it for this customer here. I chose this $96 access plan and it's $80 in the shopping cart. It already did that for us paired with a short-term, with a ACA on exchange plan. Very, very cool stuff, guys. So make sure you're taking advantage of this. If you're not one of the brokers that's been in here quoting and enrolling in ACA, do it, guys. One less login to worry about this open enrollment. Keep everything simple. It's right here for you, okay? A few things to remember. We're kind of coming up to the end here, so I just want to kind of wrap it up with a few things for you guys. Okay, you can enroll through healthcare.gov, right? If you want to do an extra login there. Depending on what states you're in, like California, we have covered California, there's state exchanges, right? And you need to be aware of those if you guys are operating in those states. As we just talked about, Coverage Builder now is an option where you can enroll an ACA plan side by side with your supplement, or you can go direct to any of these great carriers that we have presenting for us over the next few days, right? If you ever see on exchange versus off exchange, the only way you're going to get a subsidy is going on exchange. That means going to healthcare.gov or going through a third party that is partnered with healthcare.gov, like Coverage Builder, like Health Sherpa, anything like that. That would be a third party that uses the exchange to search for subsidies. Then if you go off exchange, if you're just going like carrier direct, that's not going to search for subsidies, but maybe it's the customer that doesn't qualify for one, anything like that. But you would not be able to attach a subsidy to those sales, okay? For re-enrollments, guys, these are pretty simple. Just verify your customer's still eligible. See if there's any new plan options with each client. You need to call them. Look, they will auto re-enroll, but it's really, guys, do our due diligence. Make sure somebody else isn't calling them, but also make sure we're doing our follow-ups every year with our clients. How did the plan work for you? Did you have anything happen with your health this year, right? Just that simple touch base, that follow-up with our clients. Let's figure out, how did this plan work for you? Are we in a good place? Can we leave you here? Or are there better plans now? Have plans changed? Is there something different in your county that we might need to look at, right? So very, very important. And then you guys all know that you guys are actually all amazing at this stuff, but make sure we're bundling, guys, right? Make sure that's where these plans really sing. As you guys know, health insurance plans, guys, every health insurance plan out there has some good things and some bad things with it. How can we protect our customer from some of the bad, right? Like, how can we be aware of it, know that it's there, and then address it for our clients, right? Very, very important stuff. Very important stuff. Susan, you asked, what are the carriers through the Allstate website through ACA? Susan, it should be every carrier that you're able to do through healthcare.gov, actually, that's in there. It's linked and partnered that way. So yeah, and actually I see Steve's answering a lot of these for me. So I love you, Steve. Thanks, man. Cool. Let me go to one other screen. So today, guys, pumped. We have Ambetter, we have United, and we have Molina lined up today, and we're gonna kick it to Ambetter first. But if there's any questions on contracting, either at AHCP or HST, you guys know where to go. But these are the people to reach out to, right? For our AHCP agents here, contracting at ahcpsales.com. You can also call that phone number there. And then our HST people, you know Jackie's got us. You can go ahead and email jackie.zacone@ngic.com, and you know she'd be more than happy to help you guys there. Guys, I'm so pumped. We're here. It's ACA time. It's open enrollment. Oh my God, what an exciting time of year. Steve, thank you so much for having me this morning, and thank you for manning the Q&A for me.